Hey everybody, this is Mr. Pilgrim here, and welcome back. Now in today's video, we're going to be picking up where we left off from our last video, and we're going to be continuing on. Now, like I said, you want to take the left path here. Now, most of these enemies, I'm just going to run by, and there's a specific reason as to why I'm not going to be touching any of these falconers, the same way as I didn't really fight them except for that first time in Brightstone Cove, Sildora. And that's because they're going to be farmed for a specific item, not enemy. But anyways, if you just kind of make your way around here and up here, you'll notice that this door will open. Give it a second. It'll take a bit. And voila. Now that will lead to one of the 3 DLC areas. I'll come back to that. There really isn't anything of importance that you have to pick up along the way, but if you want to just explore and get things that are along the way, then by all means go ahead. Now, one thing I have noticed though is, as you can see right now, it's somewhat cloudy and beautiful, and all those invisible men are following us. But as soon as you exit this little mini tunnel, surprise, it's somehow raining. Not sure how that happened in development or why they thought that was a good idea, but okay. Anyways, carrying on. Run past all these enemies. Now, if you want another Titanite slab, this Titanite lizard will have it upon getting killed. Come on. As you'll see, boom, and 3 Titanite chunks, which is very good to have. Man, we made it to Drangleic Castle. Woo! Now, just for the sake of making this next area easier, I'm going to go and clear some enemies out. So yeah, I'll be back. And welcome back. Alright, I've gone through and just cleared out somewhat this first area, which isn't really that bad. But anyways, making your way up the stairs, you will want to deal with the 2 mastodon statues who will awaken. And up here what you want to do is just come and kill an enemy next to one of these 2 golems, which will unlock the doors. Now beware, this royal swordsman more of them will come from the left hand side. But before we enter, if you come over here to the right hand side, and you'll get the Great Combustion Pyromancy. And heading on inside, once the doors have opened of course, and make sure no enemies are following you, because it could be very annoying to have a couple swordsmen come up and just demolish your health. So always keep an eye on that front door. Anyways, this is Chancellor Welliger. After our first time talking to him, we're not going to have to come back and talk to him until our 3rd playthrough of the game. And that's very important. But anyways, the first thing we want to do is learn the gesture from him. And then the miracle that he sells. If you would want to buy some repair powder, I recommend doing so. And the fact that he sells them infinitely is 1,000 times easier. Now from there, if you hop down and swing to the left, follow the route I take. And behind this door, if you just want to roll through and then drop down and open this set of doors and the ones immediately across. Now by this point there should be a royal swordsman coming up on you, as you can see. Simply just deal with him and then rest at the bonfire. Now this next area is very, very annoying, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the area and show you where you actually have to go. That last door on the left we have to go to, and this first door on the right. That's it. Those are the only 2 doors you really want to have to worry about, but I'm pretty sure these doors on the left are going to be open regardless anyways. But I will be back once I've somewhat cleared out the area, just to make it a little bit easier. I'm gonna hate this so much. Okay, and welcome back. Now, I've somewhat gone through and cleared out this area as best as I could. Now, one thing I will say is behind each one of these doors that you might open is a ruined sentinel. Now, that can be very annoying if you sit back at the bonfire and aggro all three of them at once. In this, on that skeleton is a Pharaoh's Lockstone. And the enemies, the stone enemies here who will sometimes animate or reanimate, will sometimes drop their armor or even titanite slabs. Now if you drop down here, be careful of this enemy who can cause bleed. Should remember him from No Man's Wharf. And here we finally get the fabled Faram set. Faram, I'm not sure how you pronounce it. Anyways, if we light this bonfire here and come and talk to Dark Diver Grandolph for the third and final time, then you can finally join the Pilgrims of the Dark. Ironically, I know I have no connections to this covenant in any way. But anyways, what this will allow you to do is to go into those chasms right there and do specific things that I'm actually not going to say. I'm also just going to go ahead and buy some stuff from him. I'm also going to use my some souls, to acquire some stuff. That way I have everything from this man that I need to buy. Now, I'm going to come back to this covenant once we're a little bit more powerful, because some of the stuff he has you do and some of the enemies you fight are very strong and can do a lot of damage to you if you're not prepared. So we're just going to come back to that at a later date. So simply just fast travel back to the King's Gate bonfire and we'll go from there. Okay, so from this bonfire, if you simply just head out, take a right, and then take another right running past the enemies, that way they don't aggro you. I believe in this chest... Ow. That hurt. Ah yes, I believe it was right here. Yep, the frozen flower. That is the key needed to access that portal or teleporter to the third DLC that I mentioned in this video on our way here to Drangleic Castle. Now, for anyone who wants to explore that pool right there, I recommend taking off all of your armor and rings because they will break just by being in there. So if you want to go down there, go ahead. It's really not worth it, in my opinion. But anyways, in here, these no longer fire at you just by being in the room from last gen to this gen. They now will fire at you once you open that chest, but there's nothing of importance in there, so we're not going to deal with it. If you want to grab these items, you can. They're not really that important as well. You will get invaded here, but you can easily just outrun the invader to the next boss fight, which I'm going to be doing now. You don't even have to talk to the Queen or Nishandra. Now, this boss fight is actually very annoying and difficult on last gen because you cannot summon this phantom here. But anyways, what the first thing you want to do upon entering, simply run over here, and what you want to do is have him hit that structure there. And that's for good reason, because as long as he's at a certain percentage of health, the archer cannot attack you without the bow. As you can see, and it's actually 1,000 times easier to attack the archer first. If you can have someone get aggro of the other, there we go, Dragon Rider. And then it's pretty simple. Now on last gen, basically the best way I can do it, or say how to do it, is try and just do what I did and take out the Archer Dragon Rider first, while avoiding both of their attacks, just getting in a hit at a time, and then taking down the red one, as you see I'm doing now. Because it's actually very annoying trying to fight two Dragon Riders at the same time. But having Pilgrim Belclair here just makes it 1,000 times easier. And like that, this area is done. Now this is only the first part of Drangleic Castle. Surprisingly, the next part we go to is pretty short. And what we want to do first is just simply come and talk to Benhart to just, you know, like always, just go through all of his dialogue till he starts repeating himself. And yeah, now we can just sit at the bonfire. Alright, now from this bonfire, what you want to do is simply run down these stairs here to the left. Follow around, climb up this really long ladder, and I mean really long. And I thought the ladder in the Undead Burg in Dark Souls 1 was long. Oh boy, I'm kidding, that thing is really long. Now in here, most of these enemies will not attack you at all. For some unknown reason, none of them will reanimate. I'm not entirely sure why. But yeah, now be careful, there is a ghost who does pop out right there. The only reason why I know that is because he's hit me so many times. Now in this room there will be two mannequins who drop down. If you want to try and deal with one of them first to make it easier, then by all means I recommend doing that before they give you bleed damage, because it really hurts. Or if you want to weaken them up a little bit and then lure them over to this golem, it's best to do it like that. Because as you'll see, he'll get the soul, and then that'll lower the elevator. Now, if you want to go to the next area like I'm about to do, and try and get some extra stuff, you can. It's not needed, but it's good to have. Get the Soul Greatsword. Now I'm actually going to wait to summon the Shade. No, wait, no, never mind. Soul Sword Lute's actually going to be helpful in this next area. As you'll see, we'll be fighting this boss again, except as a regular enemy. It's nice to see that the FromSoft is always great at reusing bosses from earlier as just casual enemies, like the Capra and Taurus demon from Dark Souls 1. It's a nice touch. Ooh, that was close. Now as you can see, the boss is only going to target Sellsword, and that's just because of the fact that he's got the ring on him. And as you can see, he's dead. Pretty simple, pretty easy. And now we'll get the Gower's Ring of Protection. Now normally around here is when he'll disappear, because his duty has been fulfilled. Which is actually horrible timing for us, because as soon as we aggro one of these greatsword users, it's going to immediately alert the other one, which doesn't give us a lot of time to kill that one, but he's still pretty easy. As you can see, pretty easy. Now I don't remember... Okay, yes it is a mimic. I completely forgot that that's a mimic. So be careful about that. and get yourself a free washing pole. I heard those are really good for washing clothes. I don't know, I haven't ever tested it, but I've always heard. I'm kidding. I know it's Sephiroth's katana. Nope, I'm kidding on that too. It's too short. Anyways, carrying on to the other side. Here we'll get another firestorm, which I think I already have. Yes, I have 2 of. Now, anytime you have like duplicates, as you can see with great combustion as well, I already have. It's alright to discard them, because since you can't give pyromancies, miracles, sorceries, and hexes to friends if you're playing with friends, it's kind of pointless to have duplicates. Anyways, carrying on, now down in this room, I will recommend that you be very careful, as there are 2 sorcerers here who can one-shot you, and I mean it. So what you want to do is simply bait them into an attack like that, like I just kind of did, and then failed horribly. And bam, pretty easy. Get some repair powder. And we'll grab a free or spare Estus Flask Shard. Now once you pull this lever and open up this door right here, we'll see a pleasant surprise. If I can move. Now for anyone wondering, bam, we're back at the bonfire, and Benhart has left us. I'm so sad. I must now rest. Now then, carrying on, I know I did say that this area was kind of shorter than the last, but that's just because it actually is if you're just trying to speedrun through it. But anyways, if you take this elevator up, probably one of the longest elevators in the game, and I don't see why they don't have a ladder that'll help someone get all the way up there in case this elevator breaks. I don't know how someone's supposed to get up here. Man, they should really include some elevator music in these Dark Souls games, or at least something on those elevator rides. Take forever. Anyways, in here, don't mind him. He's just into some BSM. Now here, we'll get the King's Key. Now for anyone who's just wanting to speed run through this area on later runs, there you go, just grab that chest. But over here on this right chest is actually a sorcery that we need to get. I believe, sorcery or miracle. The Strong Magic Shield. Now there is a possibility to get like duplicates of certain sorceries and miracles, so don't worry about them. You should have most of them by the end of your first playthrough. Anyways, if we just ride the elevator back down. Come on. Okay, there's that. Now if we simply just drop down here and use our key, we'll be good to go. Now for anyone wondering which of these enemies is going to pop out and attack you, it's any of them that have a head. So if you simply just do that on the first one, do that on the second one. Now these enemies can be very annoying, as you can see. Oh my god, I honestly thought I was going to die. Whew, that was a close one. Anyways, carrying on. Pick up a life gem. Pick up some Twinkling Titanite. petrified something. Now, if you want to summon Ashenite Void, go ahead. But always summon Benhart of Jugo when trying to work on his quest line. Always. Because this boss is a boss that you want him to live through. Simply run towards him and then roll. This boss can hit pretty hard, but he moves kind of slow. And the only downside is this shield. It takes up a lot of space, and if you hit it, you won't really do any damage to him. Now, one thing I will mention is whenever he does that lightning attack, where he puts his sword up in the air, it's always best to get a hit in and then roll. Not as bad as timing as I just had, but roll at the right time, and you should be good. Now, remember on last gen, this always used to be a very hard boss fight to keep Benhart of Jugo alive, because he simply will just aggro him throughout the whole fight. And that is not something you want to do, or not something you want to have. As you can see there, I rolled wrong and got hit. Now, at a certain point in time, he will actually summon a NPC into the fight. Now, it's best if you simply just target him, as he'll be pretty weak, and as soon as you attack him, he'll start aggroing you. As you can see, because having two white phantoms definitely makes it a little bit easier when dealing with the Glass Knight, or Looking Glass Knight. Because at least it'll be able to split up the aggro from him, that way he's not just solely focusing one NPC or simply just focusing you all the time. And that is the Looking Glass Knight boss. Pretty easy, not too hard. Once you beat him, you will actually get another trophy called the Looking Glass Knight trophy. Now, before we take this elevator down, I actually missed this when I was first getting this platinum trophy on last gen. You want to grab this chest, and that'll get a soul bolt. Now simply just take this elevator down to probably one of the most hated areas I honestly can say and agree to in Dark Souls 2 ever. And it is the Shrine of Amana, which we will cover in the next video. Once again, gotta add that elevator music. I know I'm pretty sure I could take like a lot less damage by not wearing the items I'm wearing, but I figured since I'm going to be wearing them a lot anyways, I might as well get used to them when grinding out for certain items toward the end of our first playthrough. Anyways, here is the Shrine of Amana. Now this first area, there's really nothing, and we can just run through it, which I will be doing at the start. But anyways, I will see you guys in the next video, and like always, I know I say this in the little comment below or description, I do hope that these videos help you, or at least help make getting the Platinum Trophy easier. Because trust me, I wish I would have had a set guide that I could follow. But as always, I'll see you next time.